quite different, isn't it? Love it. Too many to just like say it all right now. No idea what the melody's like. Kia ora and welcome back. My name's Zoe Stebe, your vocal coach for today. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at Justin Bieber singing Lonely. Now, I haven't had a look at this video, but I'm very excited to see what he's been up to. I'm loving what he's been producing so far. So let's get to the video.
Everybody knows my name now, but something about it still feels strange. Like sitting in the mirror trying to steady yourself and seeing somebody else. And everything is not the same now. It feels like all our lives have changed. Maybe when I'm older it'll all calm down, but it's killing me now. What if you...
I must say, the dude has created a pretty amazing backdrop for this song. If you can remember, 5 years ago when Justin Bieber brought out Sorry, it started this huge movement of what we call whispered singing. So it's really, really quiet. It's almost like a breathy thick fold, because it's not that falsetto sound that I've been talking about in quite a lot of the other videos that sounds quite stiff, but it's almost that he's almost just speaking on pitch, but with a lot of breath in it, and everybody knows your name. And it's this sort of whispered type of singing, which I find pretty cool. We'll get into that sort of whispered, quiet singing and how you can produce that a little bit later on in the video, but he's obviously started at that point at the beginning of this song.
What if you had it all with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me. 'Cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just fucking lonely. I'm so lonely. Lonely. And everybody knows my past now.
That was quite cool. There were a couple of things that he was doing there just at the chorus. I'm going to reverse back and just stop and start that so you can have a look at the different kind of things that he was doing with his voice, because there were, too many to just like say it all right now.
Me now. What if you had it all with nobody to call?
That there is a fantastic flip up into his falsetto. So, you know that voice break that we have, or that passaggio? I say break because your voice isn't actually breaking. And what happens in the natural singing voice is when we go into the upper part of the range, or what we know as the trained head voice, what happens is we let go of the tension on the muscles and it goes, ah, and it flips into that sort of breathy falsetto sound. So he's making the most of that now. So if you practice going over that passaggio break and allowing the voice to flip up, instead of trying to control it, you're going to get that sound. And you fall. I'm not 100% sure of the melody, but the idea is that you're just allowing that larynx to flip up into the falsetto. Let's keep watching.
Maybe then you know me.
Okay, we just had to say right there, that is a fantastic thick fold mix going further up the range. Know me. Obviously, as a female, that's nice and low. But if you want to know more about how you can stop flipping into that falsetto sound, if that's something that you've been doing with your voice and you're finding, Zoe, I just can't get that sound further up in my range, then you might need to go back and have a look at the vocal fold closure. So take a look at my video up here where I take you through the Singing Basics 101. But basically what I'm getting at are the fundamentals of taking that thick vocal fold further up in the range. So really strengthening your mix, or even just finding your mix, really. And then you can have that lovely switch between that ba-da-da-da and the nobody fall. Again, no idea what the melody's like.
'Cause I've had everything,
There it is again.
but no one's listening, and that's just fucking lonely. I'm so lonely.
Okay, I did just have to pause it there because he's going, I'm so lonely. Again, it's that whole idea of switching between that thick vocal fold and falsetto. Lonely. Yeah, go back, practice that passaggio, allow the voice to flip up into the breath, and you'll get a feeling of how you can do it. Think about it a little bit like a donkey. I know it's really... Justin doesn't sound like a donkey. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is that if you imagine yourself here, you can kind of imagine the sound that it'll create. And that is the thick vocal fold to the falsetto. Obviously, a little bit more finesse has been used than what I'm just doing, just showing you the movements of the larynx.
Everybody knows my past now, like my house was always made of glass. Well, maybe that's the price you pay for the money and fame at an early age. And everybody saw me sick, and it felt like no one gave a shit. They criticized the things I did as an idiot kid. Oh, what if you had...
I think it must be pretty tricky actually be someone like Justin Bieber. He literally cannot go anywhere without being recognized. But what do you guys think? What do you think about the song and the message that it's sending? Let me know down in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your opinion on what you think about these sorts of songs from artists who are really just speaking from the heart. And you can't discredit his feelings, can you? I mean, if this is what he's feeling, absolutely. What I'm loving about what he's doing with his voice is you don't really notice much of a volume difference. You see an intensity difference on his face. I mean, there's not really much performance going on here. He's kind of just standing there. I honestly wouldn't recommend that anyone stands there with a microphone like this. It just looks like he's kind of building up tension a little bit. But, you know, it's Justin Bieber. He knows what he's doing. He's been doing this a really long time. He creates great, lovely, clear tone when he's singing. So no worries there. If you go back and listen to a couple of his interviews where he's speaking, this is exactly what he sounds like. That's actually relatively difficult to sing in a way that makes it seem more than it is. It's a really simple melody, and it's like he's speaking on pitch at that point to create that speech quality sound. Yes, there's more to speech quality, but just to get the idea of the feeling of that thick vocal fold on that pitch, I encourage you to speak the lyrics on pitch and then see how you can move that into singing by using that little bit of a cry. That's the main difference between speaking and singing, is that little cry. Because if I was to speak like this the entire day, it would get very frustrating. Love it. He's not really doing much acrobatics with his vocals, but seems like it doesn't need it. It's all about the message of the song.
As an idiot kid, oh, what if you had it all with nobody to call? Maybe then you know me, 'cause I've had everything, but no one's listening, and that's just fucking lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely. I'm so lonely, lonely.
It's quite different, isn't it? In comparison to a couple of other songs that are coming out recently. In terms of his voice, though, we know that Justin Bieber is capable of far more than what we're seeing just in this song. He is a wonderful singer, and he's obviously been doing it from such a young age, and he was already good at that time. And, you know, he's only getting better with time. But what do you think about his voice and what he's doing? Because for me, I don't necessarily think that that song is particularly, you know, nothing to write home about, nothing particularly exciting coming across. But what I love is that he's still expressing the performance. You don't find it boring. You're not sitting there thinking, God, when is this going to finish? But if you've enjoyed this video, then don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button because I bring out videos just like this one every single week. But what do you want me to have a look at? What sort of singers do you want me to have a look at, analyze, see what they're up to with their voices? Obviously, this is just in my humble opinion. I am not their coaches, so I am not 100% sure of what's going on. And you really just need to ask the performer as well. But I don't know, getting access to Justin Bieber might be a little bit tricky. Have an awesome rest of your day. Ka kite anō.